Okay, I'm back. Now we're going to talk about micrometers. Micrometers are probably the most common type of measurement tools used in industry. Every machinist and machine shop and Q&A place, that this is like one of the building blocks of doing precision measurement. And micrometers have been around for quite a long time. I'm going to show you a micrometer that I've had for over 30 years. And so I've got tools older than you guys. What do you think of that? Anyhow, this is a Starrett 436, and I bought this one when I was an apprentice, and so I've had it for a long time. That being said, these tools, if you buy good tools, they'll last forever. This tool I've had for 30 years, but I know other machinists that inherited tools from their father who inherited them from their father, and they're still accurate, they're still good, and they're built like a Rolex watch or something. These things are really nice. So anyhow, micrometers, if you learn how to read one of them, you'll learn how to read every type of micrometer there is, whether they're inch or metric, the different sizes, internal micrometers, depth mics, inside mics, so they're all read the same. And I'll show you the fundamentals, and then we've got a couple of videos that we'll walk you guys through so that it makes a little bit more sense. So this is called the frame of a micrometer. This is called the thimble. Right here, this part that rotates is a thimble. And then I'm going to open this up right now, and it's a threaded mechanism. And as I unscrew the thimble here, it's going to expose a number line. And if you look at that number line, again, this is calibrated in tenths of an inch. So it's the range of this micrometer is 0 to 1. If I look at this, it's going to say that it's a 1-inch micrometer. If I pick up a bigger micrometer, like just a second, this will not fit in the frame, but essentially this is a micrometer, and its range is 10 to 12, or 11 to 12 inches, I'm sorry. But if I go to the business end of it, it's going to look just like the 0 to 1. And so if you learn how to read one of these micrometers, you can read any of them. And the reason I say that is because all you have to do is add 11 inches to your measurement, and that will be precise. Now, I'll get something a little smaller so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to pull up a 1 to 2 inch micrometer. I bought this one the same time I bought that 1-inch micrometer years and years ago. And this micrometer won't measure anything from 1 inch to 0. It just goes from 1 to 2 inches, and that's the range of the mic right there. So when you're using a micrometer, typically you loop 1 or 2 fingers through the frame of the mic. If I've got a 0 to 1, if I got 0, I had to drop it just to show you how it works. You loop a hand through it like this, so even if you slip, you're not going to drop it on the ground. Again, dropping precision measurement tools is the one bad thing you can do with them. So if you loan tools from a machinist, take care of them. They earn their livelihood with these things, and they're very protective of their tools. Now, when I say that this thing had a number line on it, that's exactly what it is. This number line is calibrated in tenths of an inch, and then if you look carefully, and I'm going to get up close enough so you can see it, if you look in between those tenth measurements, there's going to be 4 subdivisions, and each one of those, the value of them is 0.025, or a quarter of a tenth of an inch. And if I rotate the thimble, you'll notice the numbers on it. It's 5, 10, 15, 20. The value of the rotation of the thimble is also 25 thousandths of an inch. So if I spin this 1 full revolution and go back around to 0, it's moved the face of the micrometer in by 0.025. So I'm going to open this up right now. We'll take a couple measurements with it. I'll use something small. I've got this little block that we were using earlier, and I'll stick with that. Now, I know this block has a real precise thickness. And this one, if I hold it up here, it's going to say 0.9685 inches. So this one is precise within 1/10,000th of an inch. And so I've opened up my micrometer, and so that it will be able to accept this. And I'm going to come in like this until the faces are parallel like that on the material. And then once I get it up close, this is called a ratchet speeder or a thimble stop, and if I rotate it, it makes a little clicking sound. It's very quiet, so you probably can't hear it on this phone video, but that is like a clutch mechanism, so it's always going to apply the same amount of pressure on the measurement while you're taking it. And now you can take it, turn it sideways, and look at it. So this is going to be 0.9 inches, so it's 0.9, and then we've got 2 witness marks showing below that. Let me get up close so you can see it here. And so that would be 0.950 plus 19 thousandths of an inch. That's going to be 0.0968 and then 7 or 8, something like that. And it's probably a little bit dirty. My measurement is a couple 10,000ths of an inch bigger than the actual reading of the part, but you can see there's some scale and stuff on the outside of this block. So that is a 0 to 1 micrometer, and this is a 1 to 2 inch micrometer. The other big one that I showed you a minute ago was an 11 to 12. Now I'm going to go grab an inside micrometer and show you those, as well as a snap gauge and a couple other things. So I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. The next type of a measurement tool I want to show you is inside micrometers, and this is the way the sets usually come, is in a case like this. So I'm going to pull the mic out and show it to you, and this is called a depth mic. It's for measuring the depth of holes and stuff like that. But if I rotate it up here, open it up, one thing that's going to look different about these micrometers than a regular one is it doesn't start at 0 and go out to 1 inch like this one. If I hold this one up in the screen here, notice it starts at 0 and goes to 1 inch. This one starts at 1 inch and goes to 0. That's because if this is unscrewed all the way until it's flat, let me do it, and I'm going to put it back here in a corner, and I've got a flat surface. I'll put my depth mic right down on top of it, bring it in until it touches the surface, and it's going to be really close to 1,000. If it's calibrated correctly, it's going to be really close to 0. So now if I can use this to measure the depth of a slot, or the depth of a hole, or any mechanical characteristic about a part that you're doing an inspection on or something like that. I've got this V-block here, and I'm going to use my depth mic now, and we're going to bring it in here. I'm going to measure the depth of that slot. And I don't remember what it was before, but it seemed like it was 140 something. So I'm just bringing it in until we've got a light contact on the bottom of the hole like that. Bring it up, and reading this micrometer, again, it's starting from 0 and going down, so it's 1 point something. It's going to be 1, if this is at about the 18. So if it were right there, that would be 150. So that'd be 145, 144. It'd be 143 inches deep. And I think that pretty closely agrees with what we got with the dial calipers, or the digital calipers that we used earlier. So these are depth mics. You'll probably see these. Unfortunately, I don't have you guys in the lab, so we can't let you try them out, or I would. But anyhow, we're going to roll on here. I'm going to stop this video, and this is the end of what I have to show you of the micrometers. Okay, I told you that we were finished talking about micrometers, and I lied a little bit. I wanted to show you, because I mentioned it earlier, telescoping gauges, because they are important. They're really, really common. And I've got a piece of stuff here that I built years ago, and it's got a big hole in the middle of it. And if I want to measure the hole here, we could do it a couple different ways. We can just grab our digital calipers, turn them on, clean the jaws, make sure they're zeroed, and come in here, and I can measure the diameter of this hole, just exactly like this. And so that's going to be 2.652 inches in diameter. And so now if I need to measure that precisely, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part, and I'm going to use a telescoping gauge. And I'll show you what telescoping gauges look like. They'll usually come in a set like this, and there's different sizes. The one I need for this bore is probably going to be the one on the right here. And I'm going to open this up. And these are called telescoping gauges, and the way it works is they're also called snap gauges, because they've got a little knurled knob here on the end. I'm going to open it up, compress these telescoping ends on it. That's why they call them telescoping gauges also. They're going to lock shut, and then if I unlock it, these will spring open like that. This one's a little bit, needs to get lubricated, but they normally are much freer than that. But this one's good to go. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to stick this down inside of the board. I can't adjust this very well, just a second. Bear with me, I'm making this up as I go along. Okay, that works. Okay, so I've got this piece of material here, and we're going to use a telescoping gauge. And what I do is I'm going to close it, and then open it up so it will snap against the inside of the hole like that. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of tension with a thumb wheel at the top. So it's held it in that position. I'm going to stick it down inside of the hole, and then I tip it like this at an angle. I'll lock it in position. So this is actually longer right now than the bore, and that's intentional. What I want to do is I want to grab this gauge, and I'm going to rock it up out of the hole just like that. So it's finding the center as it does this. There we go. If you look carefully at the end of this, it's not flat, it's kind of rounded. And that's because it will allow it to find the center of that bore coming out of it. Now I have a precision measurement here, and I can use a pair of dial calipers to measure it if you want to. Something, you know, like we've got here. And that's, this is hard to do with a camera in my face, 2.654, 55, something like that. But the more accurate way yet to do it would be to get a micrometer that's a correct size and go over the outside of it and measure that. I have a 1 to 2 inch micrometer, but it's not quite big enough to do that. But a micrometer is typically how you would do that. So these are telescoping gauges. They're also called snap gauges because they snap open. That's it.